There's going to be 3 of these Cthulhus in this video somewhere, not counting this one. Leave in the comments the timestamp and where it is in relation to me, and you'll be entered to win in a giveaway from Game On. Is Call of Cthulhu worth playing in 2024? Yeah, let's talk about it. Hi everybody, my name is Justin. Welcome to Game On, the show all about tabletop gaming, from RPGs to board games and everything in between. I have not put out videos lately. With about 30 days behind since our last video. Life's been really busy. Just a kind of a quick aside for the people who watch us regularly. If you remember the that sickness that closed down the world in 2020, I'm not going to say its name because YouTube does not like that. There's a long version of that, if you know what I mean, and I have that, so I'm constantly tired. I have a lot of hard time breathing. I have 2 oxygen tanks downstairs, so that's just kind of the day. This is kind of the way it's been going. And then on top of that, I have my thesis for my master's program that has been taking up a lot of my time. So I haven't really been able to find the time to sit down and make a video, as well as I haven't had the energy to. So this is kind of a long overdue video. If I were to, I'm making this video just kind of off the cuff because I had some time and I felt like it. And it might be irrelevant at this point. But I had, there was a YouTuber who, may I say, I have a fondness for, a regard. I respect them. And they made a video about the new Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm not going to show that video only because, and I'm not saying their name, only because I don't want them to feel like I'm sending loose people to attack them. I'm sure they're watching this. So hey, if you are watching this video, YouTuber, feel free to put a link to the video that I'm referring to, and I'll pin it for you so that we can get you some traffic, and then people can see your side of the argument. And I know this person knows who I'm talking about, but I don't want this to come off as any hard feelings. So, again, I respect this person's opinion, and what makes the world go around is that we all have different opinions. But I just wanted to kind of interject some of my own, I guess, opinions in contrary to his. Oops, I accidentally said his, so I guess you all know it's a male YouTuber now. So specifically, this YouTuber was saying, wrap up your campaigns. The new D&D is coming out this summer. Get ready for it. Finish your games so we can use this new rule set. Let's gung-ho support this new game. And this person also went as far as to say, stop playing any other kind of game. Or in his opinion, you should stop playing any other game. Because D&D is top dog, and let's continue that streak. And they gave a couple of suggestions on different games and why this person didn't necessarily like them. And this YouTuber talked about Call of Cthulhu and made 2 points that I think I can understand the points that this YouTuber is trying to make, and I respect his opinion on this. But I kind of wanted to answer on my own. The first point was that you don't play a heroic character. You either die or you go insane. And I don't necessarily agree with that. a big part of Call of Cthulhu, which is based off of the H.P. Lovecraft stories, and then some of the contemporary writers that kind of added to the ethos, or the mythos, I should say, that in those stories there isn't really... Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance saves your life. The more you know, the more insane you go. And it makes sense that some people don't want to play a game like that. And I totally get it. But you're kind of buying into the idea of Call of Cthulhu, that you are... or maybe even Trail of Cthulhu, though. It's a little bit different. They are buying into the idea that their character is probably slowly going to whittle down their sanity as they come to find out more and more things. And I understand that the temporary insanity rules and even the permanent insanity rules, they can kind of add a hindrance to your character, and it's hard to roleplay them sometimes. Like, losing object permanency, for a couple of days is not easy for the group to get through when one of their players' characters, is the investigator, has that. There's a bunch of other ones, like you get this crazy phobia of like water or your own feet or your own shadow. Like, I understand that's difficult. But very few games have I ever ran as a keeper or played in as a player has that really been a long-term problem. I don't think I've ever played in a campaign where there has been permanent insanity. Temporary insanity, of course, but never long, term permanent insanity. And there's a lot of, rules for people to recover their sanity. Maybe not everybody uses that, and maybe that's where a lot of the stigma is coming from. Just like there's the stigma in Traveler, where you die during character creation. It's true, you can, especially in the older editions, but with the new Mongoose editions, it's not really a thing that happens. But it's still kind of fun to say. It's like, yeah, you're gonna die in character creation. Or in Pathfinder, it's Mathfinder. You better bring your calculator and your slide rule to play Pathfinder or Starfinder. When, the people who play, they can tell you that's not truly the case. From the outside looking in, it might look like there's that kind of stuff happening. And in Call of Cthulhu, it might look like from the outside looking in, your characters go insane. Or your characters die. And I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm also saying that that's either part of the fun and why people are playing, or it doesn't happen. So after swapping stories with other players and keepers at game stores or on the forums, watching YouTubers, at cons, I've talked to other people about Call of Cthulhu. It seems that most characters don't die because of the keeper. They die because of their stupidity themselves, the players. The game being hyper lethal, it makes sense that these big scary monsters aren't something you want to fight. So we try our best as keepers to tell you it's probably best to run than it is to fight these guys. There are some creatures that you can fight, and this is strictly Call of Cthulhu. Now, Pulp Cthulhu, go and fight them. It'll be fun because you have all these feats and you have all these insane talents. And but in Call of Cthulhu, it's it makes sense that you don't want to try to fight Amigo one-on-one. If you're gonna fight Amigo, you might want to tank. I know that Amigos aren't the strongest monsters, but why try to fight something that you have less than a 50-50 shot of winning against? And I understand that might be not everyone's cup of tea, which is okay. And I'll get to that in a second. But what's interesting here is, again, the characters are usually the ones that kill themselves. And I think I would say, I mean, this is all anecdotal. This is just from the people I've talked to. I've talked to a bunch, probably over 10, maybe close to 20 people who have played Call of Cthulhu and have had characters die in their campaigns. And the majority of them have died because of the player's mishandling of explosives. I've killed well, not me, but the game has killed a couple of players that I have run for. And it was only because they tried to light some dynamite in a disheveled cave, or it was an old abandoned mine shaft. Maybe not the best idea. Maybe possibly my fault for not explaining it enough. But I did try to give them many luck chances and, you know, different ways that they can kind of get out of it so they didn't immediately die. Wasn't good enough, unfortunately, and they died. That's sad. Another couple of gamers have told me, like, yeah, I died because I tried to throw a grenade, like, up onto a roof, and I botched my throw roll, and it came right back down, and I didn't have enough luck points, and it just landed right back on me and blew up. I would say about 90% of the player deaths were from mishandling of explosives. So to say that, you know, you're gonna, it's a game where the keeper's gonna kill you, or the game itself is gonna kill you. It's like, it's only gonna kill you if you do something really stupid. And that's kind of why I like the game, because it makes you think more. You can't just run in guns blazing or swords blazing like you can in D&D. But you have to, like, think of another way to solve the problem. You can't shoot this monster to death, but maybe you can find, you know, searching through old tomes, or even tombs, of, like, a magic power word spell that'll kill it. Of course, it'll make you temporarily insane for saying the magic word, but you kill the monster. Or at least you banish the monster. And this is kind of the second point that the person was making, is like, they said that it was boring because you can't win. Like, you don't really win in Call of Cthulhu. Like, you figure out the clues, you figure out, like, all the evidence, you find the perpetrator, monster, cult, anything like that, and, like, you don't necessarily win, you just delay the inevitable. And I can understand why some people don't like that, because think about it, in D&D, I mean, it's fun to, in D&D, to, like, go and destroy the cult that has, or the cult that has been, like, slowly destroying and poisoning the water supply of these villagers. Like, yeah, it feels good to, like, try to get justice for the fictional characters that we're trying to help. And you don't really get that all the time in Call of Cthulhu. And I'm sorry about all the farm equipment that's going by right now. Like, they're spreading manure, it's farming, they're getting ready for planting season, so that's what you're hearing in the background. But I understand that's not fun for everybody. But there are people who play games like survival horror games, or maybe games with no, like, win status or win condition. Like, a lot of people like to play Minecraft, and I guess as far as I can tell, there is a winning condition, at least in, like, the campaign. But, like, if you're just playing Sandbox, there's no win condition. And you can have those monsters still come and blow your stuff up and kill you. So you don't win there, but people like that. And I know it's not a complete apples to apples comparison, but why would you play that and be okay with that, but not play with something else where you might not be able to win, but you can still play it? I don't know if that's coming off on camera as well as it is in my head, but there are people who play like survival horror games where, you know, say Amnesia, that game, I guess there is a winning status in that game, completing it, but in the end, it's not, like, good. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, like, that's a perfect example of a game where the win condition sucks. Like, it's no better than anything else. Like, I don't want to give away the ending, but you get to the ending, and it's like, well, damn. Like, why did I go through all this if that's the ending? And it's because it's interesting to play games where the main character doesn't win. You know, there's, what is it, American History X, that movie? Like, does the main character win at the end? I mean, really? But people still like that movie. So, and I get the idea that you're not playing heroic characters. And people like to get lost in the fantasy of playing heroic characters. Perfectly fine. I really like to boot up Halo and play Master Chief and just go through and destroy elites and grunts and, you know, destroy them all. But there's also games like Squad or Arma 3 or Armor a Forger where I'm just a cog in the machine, man, and one shot will kill me, and I don't even know where it'll come from. I didn't even hear it. I was dead before I heard it. And sometimes that's a fun game. Sometimes that's fun. Sometimes playing an overpowered, genetically modified superhuman is fun. Why do you think people really like 40K? Because it's really, it's super duper overpowered. But then there's people who like, let's see. I know that there's like a couple, like, was it Black Powder, which is like the Napoleon ones, where you lose your lines really quickly. You know, you don't get an armor save, you get shot, you die. So there's two sides of the coin to this. People can like both. But to say that everybody should stop playing to play the new D&D because you don't get to play a heroic, valiant character, in my opinion, is not the best reason to just stop playing a game. Now, if you personally say, I don't like this doesn't feel right for me, that's fine. Good for you. But for anybody to tell you to stop because they're playing something that they don't like, just feels not right in my head. There's that meme where it's like that people, maybe I'll show it here, is like that people playing, and the guy's like, your game sucks, and then the other guy gives him like the thumbs up and then goes back to playing. That's kind of how I feel about this, but maybe I'm misunderstanding what this YouTuber is saying, and maybe that's not what their intention was. Maybe their intention is more like, you know, for the people who want to play more heroic characters, wrap up your game so we can come here. I don't know. But I do know that there is some general sentiment against Call of Cthulhu because you can die from stupidity, you can go insane, or you'd play regular people going through insane situations, and some people don't like that. That's fine. But all I want to say is that don't gatekeep other people from playing the game they want to play. I don't like Warhammer 40K anymore, but I would never tell anybody to stop playing. I know I just ignited a flame war. Cujo, please don't come over to my house and punch me. But yeah, this video has gone way too long. I'm just rambling at this point. So I would like to hear what you guys have to say. If you've listened this far, I appreciate it. And thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Justin, and as always, game on.